You've chosen to write a book on relationships, sexual alchemy, and sovereignty. I'm curious why you chose to write on this topic.
About 10 years ago, I started a practice of meditation and yoga, primarily for stress reduction and stress management. But I found myself rather unexpectedly on a spiritual path very quickly. And that spiritual path led me to tantric practice. And I studied with Taoist tantric and Hindu tantric masters. And in the tantric practices, sexual energy is not repressed as it is in many practices. It's actually utilized and celebrated. And it's utilized for personal health and well-being. It's utilized for healing, and it's utilized for spiritual growth as well. And I practiced for many years in those lineages. And when Esme and I came together and started to become intimate, all those practices that I was doing by myself or as a practitioner or as a receiver suddenly really came alive and kind of took a life of their own. The sexual energy that we generated together was tenfold more than I had ever experienced before. And the healing that I had experienced and the transformation that I experienced in the context of our relationship was unlike anything I had experienced in individual practice. And this effect, the power of this sexual energy, this sexual alchemy, to that degree, I had never really heard talk about or read about or certainly had described to me. So I thought that this was something that was unique and powerful. And actually, the way we describe it, rather accessible to anybody, really. So I thought that this was something that was worth sharing as an extension of individual tantric practice, or even as most tantric practices are taught in the context of relationship. So it's not really about saving your relationship. It's about using that sexual energy to for your own personal healing and of your own wounds as well as the relational wounds, and in the process, deepen intimacy in the context of that relationship.
Thanks, Terrence. So, not to contradict Terrence, but we actually didn't begin by choosing to write a book on relationships, sexual alchemy, and sovereignty. The book has its roots on the two of us writing each other love letters after we had seen each other, because we live 3,200 miles apart. And every time we saw one another, things that were happening were so amazing in our experience that we capture them by writing each other these really sweet vignettes about our experiences. Well, come 2 or 3 years in the relationship, we had over 25 vignettes of things that happened between us. And we're like, wait a minute, I think we're writing a book. So we got together in this cabin in Colorado with a whole bunch of sticky notes, which those of you who know me or don't know me know that I love sticky notes. And we had all the sections of love letters and writings that we had done for each other, emails printed out and on sticky notes. And we started organizing them and realized, yeah, we actually have a book. So that was when the choice was made to write a book. But like many things in life, you just start going somewhere and all of a sudden organically it starts to like come together in some kind of a pattern. Well, our relationship and our sharings with each other came together in this pattern that was about sexual alchemy and sovereignty. This is the distillation of our 3 years of relating to one another. And the decision to write the book was really the decision to share with others other than ourselves. And the reason why we decided to share is because, as Terrence said, this is a very unique experience. Neither of us, though we have experienced many relationships, have really experienced something quite like this. So I feel, and I think we both feel, that it was important to share this experience with others and share our story, share the alchemy, and potentially inspire others or mainly even just connect with others, because in writing this book, we feel more connected to others who are in the relationship path, because now we've chosen to talk about it. And through the process of publishing it and sharing it with others, we're getting more ideas about relationships, life, and alchemy.